TV, tumaini lako.
It is the first day of July, the year 2020. I hope you're doing fine. Good evening. My name is Daisy Paul and our sign language interpreter is Naomi Mathu. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. This is Mwangaza Prime News. Now, Kenya has today recorded 307 new cases of COVID-19, raising the country's total confirmed cases to 6,673. The new cases emerged from 3,581 samples that were tested in the last 24 hours. The Health CAS Rashid Aman said Kenya's cumulative tests now stand at 1,703,355. Of the new cases, 298 are Kenyans. The youngest of the new cases is a 1-year-old, while the oldest is 81 years old. Another 50 patients were discharged. However, one more patient died.
Today, we have recorded the highest number of positive cases since the pandemic struck in our country. The highest number. We tested 3,591 samples over the last 24 hours. And of these, 307 returned positive. This number now pushes our caseload of those confirmed positive to 6,673. Out of a sample size of 173,355 that we have tested thus far. Today's number consists of 289 Kenyans and 18 foreigners. 215 are males, 92 are females. The youngest is 1 year old, the oldest is 81. In terms of counties, Nairobi leads with 154, Mombasa 38, Machakos 33, Kiambu 20, Narok 20, Kajiado 14, Busia 10, Kericho 4, Makueni and Nakuru 5 cases each, Kilifi, Kisumu, Kitui and Uasin Gishu 1 case each. The distribution of cases by sub-counties: in Nairobi, the 154 cases are in Dagoretti North 34, Kibra 22, Embakasi Central and Langata 18 cases each, Starehe 17, Westlands 14, Embakasi South 10, Embakasi West 7, Kamkunji 5, Dagoretti, Makadara and Madare 2 cases each, Embakasi Central, Roysambu and Ruaraka 1 case each. In Mombasa, the cases are in Vita 22, Likoni 10, Changamwe 5, and Nyali 1. In Machakos, 32 cases were in Athi River and 1 case in Yatta. In Kiambu, Ruiru had 4 cases, Kiambu Town 6, Kabete and Thika 3 cases each, and Kiamba 2 cases, Juja and Lari 1 case each.
Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha has sent the strongest indication that schools in the country are unlikely to reopen until early next year. Magoha said consultations among the key stakeholders, including parents and teachers' unions, are all in agreement that schools can only reopen once the COVID-19 curve is flattened.
Today, we started with many options, and we have kept on narrowing the options. And today we have discussed the options that are according to what is happening in the country as at the moment. As you are aware, a few days ago, we had a peak of 278. And since that time, we are in the hundreds. We have also been reliably informed this morning by the doctors that the peak is likely to come in September, and by the grace of God, perhaps taper down around January. Taking all those factors into consideration, including the fact that the good government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has taken the children to school. Every child went to school using the 100% mop-up transition. Therefore, the children are at school, and the schools are a bit congested. And that whatever is going to determine whether we open or not will depend on whether social distancing can be achieved in school. The purpose of this meeting was to tell you that we are consulting. This is an all-inclusive process, so that by the time His Excellency the President makes a pronouncement about one or two things, it will be an informed pronouncement, and it will basically be on the basis of, my brother Maio here has been networking with all the parents. They have ways and means of networking with all the parents. And the position of the parents has been very firm that we don't open until we achieve stability, which means until the curve is flattened. And in my view, the parents are one of the major stakeholders. So we have reached a consensus. It is not my place to tell you which consensus we have reached, but by Monday, the 6th of this month, His Excellency the President, who is the owner of the process, will make certain pronouncements which will be advised.
The President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, has delivered his promise to boost textile industries in the country during these COVID-19 times by awarding them government tenders to manufacture fabric for disciplined forces uniforms. Among the massive impact that coronavirus has had on the economies, Kenya's manufacturing textile industries, given to its non-essential nature, has been punched hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, with some factories almost completely folding.
Thika Clothes Mills, which is a major player in the textile industry in the country, closed down following the drastic measures to combat the spread of coronavirus. However, the management, through local arrangements with the workers' representatives, have been paying workers up their salary while still at home. The company is yet to open fully, and when operations resume normally, they can employ more than 2,000 people, according to the management. The government has awarded tenders to the textile manufacturers, where Thika Clothes Mills is now making materials for Kenya Wildlife Services, among others. Speaking to journalists, the CEO of the company thanked the president for keeping his word and putting much consideration on the manufacturing, especially at these COVID-19 times.
We have been fighting for the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya for a very, very long time. We thought this maybe would have come much earlier than it has come, but it was something so simple that if something can be made here in Kenya, then you must buy the Kenyan product. You're developing this country, you're developing the jobs, you're creating value change, you're creating wealth. So it was very difficult for me to really understand why it can take so long for a change like this to come.
Tedal, also a crusader of Buy Kenya, Build Kenya initiative, challenged those claiming that the government isn't working, saying she's now reaping the fruits of the president's Big Four agenda, where manufacturing and industrialization is one of the key pillars.
As I went out, as I went to look for the orders, when I went knocking on people's doors, I suddenly realized that actually it is not easy to get these orders. It's not just Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. So it has taken a while for them to come. But thank God eventually the change has come. People have heard and the change is here. And we are very, very appreciative to our president for this change because he's the only one who's really talking about it.
She said the factory is also making materials for Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu's Kikotech factory that has been contracted to make masks for schools and uniform for thieves and their assistants.
Every speech he makes, Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, Jenga Kenya, Jenga Kenya. And this is the only truth because we have population where the average age of a Kenyan is 19 years of age. There are no jobs. This is the only way to move. Look what China did. Look what India did. Their economies are booming now because they focused on their manufacturing. And we also have to focus on our manufacturing. And it is my wish that business community have to embrace the change.
Mary Kinyanduwi reporting for Mwangaza Prime News.
The tourism sector has today launched the health security protocol in order to bring the tourism sector back to its feet. Margaret Kamau took time in the launch and prepared this report.
It being the 1st of July, a new month, the Tourism Ministry has launched protocols at the KICC Nairobi and was led by its Minister Najib Balala, who was accompanied by the CAs of Health Mutai Kagwe and Minister of Interior Security Fred Matiang'i and other officials from the above sectors. Najib Balala, the Tourism Minister, said that today is a historical day due to the launching of the Health Security Protocol and also stated that they have a stamp from the World Tourism and Travel Council and in coordination with UNWHTO to ensure that Kenya is safe and that Kenya is among the 2 trans-Saharan countries, with Rwanda also being one that has the stand.
Member task force led by PS Safina Kwekwe and every sector was involved in formulating this. So these protocols are not ours, they are from the industry. We only ask them to follow 4 principles of the health protocols. 1 is wearing of a mask. 2 is social distance. 3 is washing of your hands. And 4 is sanitization.
He gave an appeal to Kenyans to participate in contributing to the growth of the sector by traveling. He also said that there was 17-member task force that were involved in formulating the protocol.
Today is a historic day because we have managed to get protocols for safety, the health and safety for our country, and to assure the world that Kenya is safe. Including, we have the stamp from the World Tourism and Travel Council, Safe Travels. We also have coordinated this with the UNWTO. Kenya is safe. We are only 2 African countries in the sub-Saharan region. Kenya and Rwanda are the only ones who have these stamps. And then the other countries which are not sub-Saharan countries, which is Mauritius, Seychelles, Egypt, Tunisia, and Morocco.
CS Health also spoke and said that he welcomes all tourism from all over the world to come to Kenya, enjoy the sceneries, but they should not forget to keep themselves safe by following government directives.
What is the alternative? What do we do other than what we are doing today? So we want to invite tourists to come to our country because it is no safer in Italy. It is no safer in America. No, you can't say, I am going to stay in Kenya because Kenya is safer than the other country. The new normal is that if you travel anywhere, even to travel from Nairobi to Nyeri, you have to observe the protocols that we have given.
Dr. Fred Matiang'i also spoke and said it is our responsibility as Kenyans to follow the rules given by the government of not going in and out of Nairobi and other counties that have roadblocks. He officially announced the launching of the protocols.
As a government, we have introduced a raft of measures to keep our economy afloat, with tourism being among the top priority sectors, and these have been outlined by my colleagues before. I am therefore confident that some of the directives, incentives, and mitigation measures issued by His Excellency the President, including tax exemptions, reduction of income tax, and the 8-point economic stimulus program, among others, will go a long way in contributing to the recovery efforts of the tourism sector.
With the tourism protocol launched today, it is the hope of the sector that lives goes back to norm and that Kenyans participate in every action to make sure that the revenue goes back to its normal. Reporting for Mwangaza TV, KICC House, Nairobi County, Margaret Kamau.
Thank you so much, Margaret Kamau, for that report. Now, with that report, Mwangaza Prime News is taking a very short break, but don't go too far. We're coming with much more in a jiffy. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. This is Mwangaza Prime News. Now, over 600 employees at the West Kenya Sugarcane Mill have boycotted their jobs after receiving a suspension letter from their jobs on the basis that their contracts have expired. The employees go to work early in the morning as it has been their norm, only to be shocked that those whose contracts are expired should not access the premises before signing a new one.
We've been risking our life since this pandemic disease called corona came out. We have been doing 12 hours without getting tired. Kesi yetu sisi kama casual contractors imekuwa kule kotini. Wameingangania since 2016-2017. Koti ikafika mahali ikarula kwamba wafanyakazi wote wa West Kenya ambao walikuwa na hii shida ya yenye imeletwa kotini walipwe hela zao kulingana na CBA, and then ile miaka ya nyuma ambayo wamekosa hiyo kulipwa CBA wapewe kitu inaitwa arrears. Viongozi wetu wa county plus viongozi wetu wa national government, they should address this issue. They should come and address us. Mshahara 10,000 kwa miaka 10 ama miaka 5 without your boss appreciating you. Hata utaoa mke kweli kama ni kijana?
Kila siku tunasiaganga tani 6,000, 5,000. Up to now nimekuwa nikiendelea bila contract na naniambia wewe mambo yako tunaangalia, ndio imekuwa expanded. So ninashindwa, mbona mimi siwezi ongezwa mshahara? For the first 8 years hizo nimefanya kazi sijawahi kuongezwa mshahara.
Chief Justice David Maraga addressed his anticipated exit from the judiciary, even as wrangles putting the executive against the judiciary raged on. Maraga chose to address the issue at a ceremony in Nairobi to mark the launch of an electronic filing system for cases. He explained that he was still hard at work to transform the judiciary, disclosing that he expected to receive a letter informing him to proceed on terminal leave in November. CJ Maraga is expected to retire on January 12th, the year 2021, after attaining the retirement age of 70 years.
We have quite a number of things to do. As you know, the judiciary has a very strict protocol. A retiring judge takes terminal leave. So when my time comes, I will receive a letter from the CRJ asking me to take terminal leave. I believe that will be somewhere in November. Don't worry, I'm still around and we are going to meet in a number of functions. Let me confess here that sometimes the files don't get lost. Malicious acts of some of our staff in collusion with the outsiders, those who perhaps don't want their cases to go on, or for one reason or the other, don't want a file to come before the judge. Just take a file from its bundle and puts it in a long bundle. And it takes a long time, and sometimes even after some time, that same fellow pulls that file and says, oh, the file we have been looking for is here. That is something we are going to go over, and it will be a thing of the past.
Residents of Kiamwathi village in Nyeri County today woke up in a shock after 3 people died in 2 separate murder incidents. 2 of the victims, including a 82-year-old man, died after being attacked with a machete, while the 3rd victim lost his life after hanging himself after suspectedly killing his girlfriend. Stella Karaoke has a report.
In the first incident, Elijah Mugo died after he was attacked with a machete by his nephew moments after collecting 4,000 shillings transfer. Nyeri Deputy County Commissioner Joseph Mwangi said that the old man had returned to his home on Tuesday evening when his nephew Duncan Kanini allegedly stole the money from the old man.
Chenye tutaanza uchunguzi ili tuweze kubaini kilicho weza kuchangia vifo hizo tumepata.
In the second incident, a few meters at the homestead of Reverend Samuel Waithaka, his farmhand Eric Mureithi, aged 36 years, murdered his girlfriend Janet Wambui before committing suicide by hanging himself on an avocado tree. According to Waithaka, he had parted ways with his work on Tuesday evening and went to bed without any incidents after the following day for work schedule.
Lakini asubuhi kuamka kuja around 6 wakati ambao niamka kuja kuangalia pia naendelea na kama amekamua ng'ombe, nikamwita. Nikaona ng'ombe bado ukamuliwa. Nikaenda nikasunguka kwa maana anakaa nyumba yake hapa. Kuenda kwa kitchen nikakuta niliona mwanamke ameuawa huko.
He said that he was awoken by his animals which were mooing after the deceased failed to milk them in the wee hours. The distraught retired PCA church clergyman said that he had never known that his worker had a girlfriend for 1 year. He had employed him and was surprised that the killing occurred within his compound.
Kwa kazi alikuwa very excellent hii kijana. Hii kazi yake hata kuobey na nini na kwa mama na mimi hakuwa na shinda, bado hata siku moja kuwa na shinda yeye.
Mwangi, who visited the scene, said that police have launched investigations over the two incidents. He urged residents to exercise control of their emotions at this time when the country is undergoing tough times due to COVID-19 regulations.
Lakini ile la muhimu ni kucontrol anger. Ile hasira yako una control kwa sababu unaweza leta maafa ukifanya vitu na hasira.
Reporting from Mwangaza Prime News, I'm Stella Kariuki.
Kenyans can now afford a smile after the launch of modern pulling cart and modern mkokoteni, which uses rechargeable batteries, hence making work easier, which has speed, governors, brakes, and is easy to pull. Our reporter Wanjiku Mbogo had an interactive interview with Ken Gwantai days before the launch and prepared the following report.
Sometimes people pulling carts and tuk-tuk are seen and humiliated, but these people use them to look for their daily bread. The launch of modern mkokoteni and pulling cart took place today, few weeks after Mwangaza TV had an interactive interview with the innovator Ken Gwantai, who explained this in details. Today the launch was graced by government officials, CS Joe Mushero, CS Margaret Kombia, Rachel Shebesh, and other guests. Donations were also given to help curb COVID-19, and also strategic plans to help youth were also launched, bearing in mind that the strength of a nation is based on youths. On her speech, CS Margaret Kombia said that they are ready to work and help NYS.
I'm happy this afternoon to be here, especially as I witness the launch of strategic plan of the National Youth Service. As we discussed the launch of the plan, I mentioned that while we are still launching the plan and appreciating the much work that has gone in discussing what needs to be done, we also need to reflect that a strategic plan is a document of intent. We need to move further and be able to implement. And we always say preparation of the strategic plan is 10% of the whole task. Implementation of it is 90%. So I'm happy here that you have involved us in the journey of 10%. And as you move on, we'll be keen to hold you accountable. Where are you and what difference has it made in the first year, second year, third year of the implementation of the strategic plan.
CS Joe Musheru congratulated the NYS for the work well done in innovation, which will help many youth and also will make work easier. He also got the opportunity to have a ride with a new modern tuk-tuk and also modernized cart.
It's indeed a great day that innovation is being celebrated in this country, and many of us in the many things that we experience every day, the many challenges. Those are the challenges that we take to be able to innovate. In the way that we solve those challenges, that is how we are able to come up with the new innovations. and those innovations help and improve the quality of lives of those that come after, or those that you're even working with. It takes great courage to be able to innovate, to take these kind of big steps in ensuring that you're going into an area that others have not been in before. So this calls for not just strengthening of the existing industries, but also investing in the creation of new ones and improving operations and supporting sectors, such as the transport and infrastructure sectors.
The 2019 Population and Housing Census of the Republic of Kenya puts the population of youth at about 13.8 million, about 29% of the national population. This is a critical mass of young, energetic people for us to harness for national development.
More to that, Ken Gwantai did not hide his happiness after the launch, and he said that he is ready to meet the demand of people by providing more and of the best quality.
The tuk-tuk behind us came as an idea to revolutionize the conventional fossil fuel tuk-tuk we have in town, in major cities in Kenya, Africa, and even other parts of the world. The rationale behind this was that the tuk-tuk we have, the three-wheeler, is very pollutive in terms of carbon emission and also noise pollution, which is not habitable for our city. So I decided to come up with a clean mobility product, a clean mobility and tuk-tuk, which does not emit. It can even carry more passengers than the conventional one that we have in the market. Essence of this mkokoteni or electric handicart is that you can drive it as you walk. And the speed of this mkokoteni is the normal man walking speed, which is 3 miles per hour or 5 kilometers per hour. It has taken me 5 years to do this work.
It is a great day that Kenyans have witnessed the launch of a modern mkokoteni and modern tuk-tuk, of which they will not be using fuel as they travel. Remember that Mwangaza TV, we had a chance, and the first chance, to have an interview with Ken Gwantai, who is the innovator. Reporting for Mwangaza TV, Prime News at 9, I am Wanjiko Mbogo.
In Sechangwan location within Molo sub-county, 12 youthful women are sweating it out on some tiny farm feeding dairy goats. The members of Saki Youth Group are beneficiaries of the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, National Agriculture and Rural Inclusive Growth Project dairy goat rearing program that seeks to improve the livelihoods of women and youth group in rural parts of Nakuru.
Members of youth group, according to the chairperson Ruth Namale, have also received training on home-based manufacture of value-added goat products such as pasteurized milk, yogurt, butter and cheese. She says goat milk production is a good source of income and a venue to improve rural areas' economy, as consumer acceptance of goat milk and its products is growing, with a liter retailing at shillings 140.
Tulianza tukiwa wafugaji wa ng'ombe, tukiuza maziwa tukiwa pamoja kama kikundi. Kwa hii mradi ya NARI tuliingia wakati tulikuwa tunapata mafunzo kupitia kwa Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. Wakatuambia kuna mradi inakuja, tukaandika proposal, tukaqualify kupata 1,100. Wakatunulia mbuzi, na hao mbuzi tulihitaji wakuwe mbuzi wa maziwa. Na mbuzi wenye tulinunuliwa ni wale wa hali ya juu, tunawaita kwa kizungu pedigree goats, dairy goats. Walitunulia mbuzi wenye ni wajawazito, tunaendelea kulisha pamoja.
The group is also venturing into value addition to tap into the expanding local market. Aki is one of the 20 youth groups in Molo sub-county with a total membership of over 500 that have received funding for the rearing of the high-yield Kenya alpine dairy goats. She says most members of the group are smallholder farmers who cannot keep a cow due to their small land sizes or cost of feeding the animal, and now prefer to rear dairy goats.
Naona kwa vijana itatusaidia kwa kupata mapato, juu tunatarajia tukue breeders wa mbuzi area hii ya Molo sub-county. Itatuajiri vijana. Alafu tunataka kama kikundi kila mmoja kuwe na mbuzi yake ya maziwa. Tunaona mara hii ng'ombe inahitaji sehemu kubwa, mbuzi inahitaji sehemu kubwa ya kulisha. Sasa kama vijana, mtu akipata yake moja, at least ataweza kulisha jamii yake na atapata mapato na hata hiyo maziwa atauza.
On his part, Molo Sub-County Dairy Production Extension Officer Samuel Kinywa, the breed is tough and adaptable to various climatic conditions and yields more milk with proper breeding, good nutrition, appropriate housing and management of diseases and pests.
Kile kikundi tuko nao hapa ni kikundi cha wana youth kinaitwa Saki Youth Group. Wakati tumekuwa na project ya Narigip, waliweza kuapply proposal, na wakati proposal yao tulipeleka huko, tukaambiwa hawataweza kupatiwa ile ya 500,000 sababu ni wana youth. So wakapata ya 100,000 kwa mradi wa buzi wa maziwa. Tuko na potential ya dairy goat sababu climate wise buzi wa maziwa wanafanya vizuri sana katika area hii, sababu climate ya hapa sio ile baridi, na kama tunavyojua buzi wanahitaji pahali climate iko a bit warm. Maziwa ya buzi ni muhimu sana kwa afya ya binadamu na inatafutwa sana na iko na bei.
Members of Saki Youth have also been trained to construct pens that shield the animals from wind, direct sunlight and rain, and must have adequate resting areas if they are to produce more milk. Reporting for Mwangaza Prime News, Molo Sub-County, Nakuru County, Leonida Njoki.
Thank you so much, Leonida Njoki, for that report. And with that story, we're coming to the end of our broadcast tonight. My name is Daisy Paul, and our sign language interpreter is Naomi Matthew. Have a good evening.